Picture a room of defeated Ashanti chiefs, silent and hopeless. The air is thick with despair, and the weight of loss hangs over every bowed head. These are men who once led with pride, now stripped of power and purpose. Their king is exiled, their people oppressed, and the British demand the one thing that holds their nation together: the sacred golden stool, symbol of the Ashanti soul. The threat is not just to their land, but to their very identity. It feels like the end, until a grandmother, Yaa Asantewaa, stands up. She is not a warrior by birth, but her spirit is unbreakable. She looks at the chiefs and asks, "Are you just going to sit there? Will you let foreigners walk all over you?" Her words cut through the silence, challenging the very core of their honor. In a world where men led, she was the only one with fire left. Her courage was a spark in the darkness, igniting hope where there was none. Yaa Asantewaa saw fear and decided, if the men won't fight, she will. She refused to let fear dictate the fate of her people. This moment of courage sparked one of Africa's most famous resistance movements. Her defiance became a rallying cry, echoing through villages and towns. Her story doesn't begin with a crown, but in crisis. It is in the darkest moments that true leaders emerge, shaped by adversity. True leaders aren't always the loudest or most obvious. They're the ones who find their voice when everyone else is silent. Yaa Asantewaa's strength was born from necessity, not privilege. Yaa Asantewaa's rise from Queen Mother to Commander-in-Chief is proof that courage knows no gender or age. She led not just with words, but with action, inspiring men and women alike. She changed history by refusing to accept defeat. Her resistance echoed far beyond her own people, becoming a symbol of hope for generations. Her fire inspired a nation. Even today, her legacy burns bright in the hearts of those who fight for justice and dignity. Sometimes leadership is simply refusing to let hope die. It's standing tall when everyone else has given up, and daring to believe in a better future. And that's exactly what she did. She kept hope alive, and in doing so, changed the course of history. To truly understand Yaa Asantewaa's legendary defiance, you first need to know the Ashanti people and their world. The Ashanti Empire was a West African powerhouse, wealthy, highly organized, and fiercely independent, with Kumasi as its vibrant heart. Their pride and identity centered on the Golden Stool, a sacred throne believed to hold the very soul and destiny of the Ashanti people. No one, not even the king, sat on it. It was the heart of their nation, the symbol of unity, and the living spirit of their ancestors. Losing the Golden Stool would mean losing everything: identity, power, and the connection to their forebears. The Ashanti were guardians of tradition, bound by honor and duty to protect the stool at all costs, no matter the threat. But the British, blinded by colonial arrogance and greed, decided to challenge this sacred symbol, not understanding its true meaning. They didn't just want gold or riches, they wanted the Ashanti's very soul, the essence of their kingdom and pride. For the Ashanti, defending the Golden Stool was a sacred duty, a matter of survival and honor passed down through generations. And this, above all, was what the British chose to threaten, igniting a conflict that would change history. By 1900, the British had exiled the Ashanti king and wanted total control. Governor Hodgson marched into Kumasi and demanded the Golden Stool. He wanted to sit on it, claiming rule over the Ashanti. This was more than arrogance. It was a spiritual attack. For the Ashanti, it was like asking to use their soul as a chair. The chiefs were stunned, horrified by the insult. The British thought they were asserting dominance, but they crossed a sacred line. This demand wasn't just political, it was a declaration of war on Ashanti identity. The chief's silence was the calm before the storm. The British had poked the hornet's nest, and rebellion was about to ignite. With the chiefs paralyzed by fear, Yaa Asantewaa rose. She listened to talk of surrender, then called out the men, "Is Ashanti bravery gone? If you won't fight, we women will." Her words were a challenge and a rallying cry. In a society of strict gender roles, she flipped the script. Her speech shamed and inspired the chiefs, reigniting their pride. The room transformed from despair to determination. The chiefs swore to defend the Golden Stool. Yaa Asantewaa was named Commander-in-Chief. She turned fear into action and led her people to war. Her leadership proved that courage is about conviction, not gender. She became the heart of the resistance. One voice changed everything. The Ashanti would fight. Under Yaa Asantewaa, the Ashanti launched a fierce campaign, the War of the Golden Stool. She rallied thousands, planned strategies, and kept morale high. The Ashanti besieged the British fort in Kumasi, trapping Governor Hodgson. For months, they cut off supplies and attacked relentlessly, using guerrilla tactics. The British, shocked by the resistance, called for reinforcements. Despite being outgunned, the Ashanti fought with unmatched bravery. For a time, it seemed they might win, but British firepower eventually broke the siege. Yaa Asantewaa and her fighters retreated, refusing to surrender. They waged guerrilla war until her capture. The Ashanti lost the war, but not their spirit. Yaa Asantewaa's leadership became legendary. She showed the world the meaning of true resistance. Yaa Asantewaa was exiled, never to see her homeland again. She was sent far from the land she loved, separated from her people and the kingdom she fought so fiercely to protect. Yet, even in exile, her spirit remained unbroken, and her name continued to echo across the Ashanti lands. The British hoped her influence would fade, but they were wrong. They underestimated the power of her legacy and the deep roots of Ashanti resilience. Her courage became a quiet rebellion, inspiring those who remained. The golden stool remained hidden and safe, the Ashanti spirit unbroken. The sacred symbol of the kingdom was never surrendered, a testament to the unity and determination of her people. The British learned they could not crush Ashanti pride. The people held on to their traditions, their language, and their stories, keeping their identity alive through every hardship. Eventually, the king returned from exile, and decades later, Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African nation to gain independence. The dream of freedom that Yaa Asantewaa fought for was finally realized, inspiring a continent. Yaa Asantewaa became a national hero, a symbol of courage and resistance. Her image stands tall in monuments and her story is woven into the fabric of Ghanaian identity. Her story is told to every generation, inspiring women and men alike. In classrooms and around family fires, her bravery is remembered and celebrated. Statues and schools bear her name. Her legacy lives on in the institutions that educate and empower young Ghanaians, especially girls, to dream boldly. She proved you don't need a crown to lead, just courage and conviction. Her example shows that true leadership comes from the heart and from standing up for what is right. Her legacy is a call to stand up for what's right, no matter the odds. It reminds us that change begins with those brave enough to challenge injustice. One person's bravery can change history. Yaa Asantewaa's actions prove that a single voice, raised in defiance, can inspire a movement. When others give up, be the voice that says, "If you will not go forward, then I will." Her words still echo, urging us to persist when hope seems lost. Yaa Asantewaa's fire still burns, lighting the way for future generations to rise, resist, and remember her unyielding spirit.